Hello guys and welcome back. So basically we have to do a live today. We have to do one. Yeah, because Mr. Trump, what he just said a few hours ago, that a whole civilization was gonna die. It is a big issue. It is a very big issue. Yeah. So we're gonna be live. We're gonna see what's gonna happen today. Yeah. Ooh. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. By 8 p.m., 9 minutes ago, he said the whole civilization will die. Yeah? It will die. Let's see.
Now to breaking news on the war with Iran. There have been more strikes on Iran today, just hours before President Trump's deadline for Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And there's a blunt new warning from the president this morning. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. Nancy, good morning.
Nate, President Trump posted a truly apocalyptic message this morning.
Yeah, in the last period of time, Donald Trump just sends very strange and very awkward messages through social media, to be honest. Very strange and very awkward. Very, very awkward. Yeah? So, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Do I have any lighter with me or not? I don't have any.
Warning designed apparently to force Iran to cut a deal. He said, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight.
I highly doubted that any civilization will die. I highly doubt it. No, not gonna happen. We know he lied before in the past, is it? We know that. What I have here, what is this? What is this? White? White? This is called Donald Trump. This is from Donald Trump. Yeah, this is white one. Yeah.
Never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will.
Well, it will not happen because it's not gonna happen. 100% is not gonna happen. We know for sure it's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna allow that. It's just bluffing.
He was asked multiple times yesterday whether bombing civilian infrastructure would be a war crime. He insisted the Iranian people want him to do it.
So, Iranian people want Donald Trump to destroy their civilization, never to be brought back. What do you think about it? Well, my honest opinion is this one. Yeah, my honest opinion about it. So, Mr. Trump, please, I'm gonna make you a picture, Mr. Trump. Look, I'm gonna make you a picture. Yeah, so it's not gonna happen. 100% is not gonna happen. Yeah, we're gonna wait to see who is gonna join us. Who is gonna join us in the chat to debate this? We're gonna stay live for a long period of time today. I'm gonna go and find a lighter in a minute. Got it. Sorry for that. let's see. Let's see what Mr. Trump wants.
They want us to keep bombing.
As the clock ticks down to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump's threats are getting more specific.
Yeah, because he's desperate. Whew. I'm fat and I'm lazy. Whew. Yeah, Mr. Trump wants. He's desperate. He needs to throw those threats around. Yeah, he is desperate.
In Iran.
And I think this one is the fourth deadline. Yeah, he's gonna throw at Iran. The fourth one.
Be decimated by 12 o'clock. Every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Trump was asked repeatedly Monday whether such attacks on civilian infrastructure would constitute a war crime.
Of course it's going to constitute a war crime. 100% is going to constitute a war crime. Imagine if that will happen to United States. Just imagine. Yeah? Just imagine what big of a deal is going to be, what big issue is going to be.
Insisted the Iranian people get it.
They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please.
You know, I think in the morning I had 49 subscribers, yeah, which is amazing for a new channel. But then by the evening it got down to 48. I think Mr. Trump was one of my subscribers and he unsubscribed. I think he did that.
Please keep bombing.
The war was also on his mind at the annual White House Easter egg roll.
I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran.
Flanked by the Easter Bunny and the First Lady.
Even on the Easter you talk about Iran and the war.
Proposed by other countries in the region.
The only one that's going to set a ceasefire is me. I haven't set any ceasefire.
Despite his tough...
Well, you asked for it and Iran said no. You asked for a ceasefire and Iran said no need for that. There's no need for that.
Talk, Trump said he believes the Iranians are negotiating in good faith, though he claimed the talks have been hampered by the destruction caused by U.S. missiles.
We're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
With gas...
Yeah, of course they don't have.
Prices surging and his...
But as we can see, the gas prices surges. Everything goes up. And they use those paper, you said, yeah, they communicate with children, they write on a piece of paper and they go around it. And meantime, everything burns out. Yeah, all the gas prices in all over the world, all the pressure in the world on you, Mr. Trump, and so on, so on, so on.
Poll numbers sack.
So now, in reality, who is winning after all?
Trump acknowledged there is pressure on him to wrap up this war.
Unfortunately, the American people would like to see us come home. If it were up to me, I'd take the oil, I'd keep the oil, and would make plenty of money.
Yeah,
President Trump
of course.
claimed yesterday that he...
Again, it's just about the oil. Like I said about 2 weeks ago, it's all about the oil, is it, Mr. Trump? Yeah, it's all about the money. All about the fucking money. Yeah? What about the people?
Could take out the entire country in one night if he wanted to. The president of Iran...
But who's gonna let you? You could take it out, but who's gonna let you? Yeah?
Posted on X overnight, quote, over 14 million proud Iranians have up to this moment declared their readiness to sacrifice their lives in defense of Iran.
I don't know if it's necessarily true. Yeah, if it's entirely true what he said. But still, I think it's quite a lot of people that they like that. Yeah, they will like that. And for that, we're gonna give him this.
Woohoo!
We're gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it to him. Yeah.
Wow, Iranians not mincing any words either. Nancy, we thank you. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now. Listen, Major, the president is talking tough. If anything, he's doubling down. How seriously do you think we should take this ultimatum?
Very. The president was talking himself into it in the briefing room yesterday when he said the Iranians, the civilians in Iran, not the leadership, the civilians in Iran, for whom this war is putatively fought on behalf of, want the United States and Israel.
Again, propaganda. Again, propaganda. And I don't like it. This United States propaganda, I do not like it.
To keep bombing.
Unfortunately, yeah, if I'm not quite in the spot with the news, guys, yeah, if I'm not in the spot with the news, I'm gonna be a few hours late. Is just because I'm in United Kingdom. I'm in United Kingdom, which is several hours apart.
Them more. That's the president talking himself into this, also saying that they could withstand the hardship that would be inflicted by destruction of most of the infrastructure of that country supporting 90 million people. That is the president.
What time is now in United States? What time is now? Let's find out. What time is now in United States? What time is it? Let me just find out. Yeah, let me just find out. It's 3:20 p.m. It's 3:20 p.m. So is basically another 5 hours, 4 hours and 40 minutes till he said they have time till 8 o'clock. Yeah, so if is now is 8:20 in UK, so it's 5 hour difference. So basically by the middle of the night, we will be there, isn't it? He said United States will end the civilization tonight. Yeah, tonight a civilization will die and never to be brought back. I highly doubt it. Again, I highly doubted that anything like that it will happen. Highly doubt it. 100%. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, probably Donald Trump is gonna come with another lie. Yeah, probably he will come with another lie, and he said that he's gonna give another ultimatum, another deadline to Iran. Yeah, another lie, another intervention. Something came up, and he cannot attack it. Yeah, definitely 100%. That is gonna happen. This is gonna happen.
In full public view, talking himself into this, and there's plenty of reporting here at CBS and among other news outlets that the Israelis and the United States are expanding the array of targets presented to the president as options for this particular mission.
Well, I understand that, but I don't think it's gonna happen too much. He will not attack any power plants. Definitely 100% he will not attack any power plants. Listen to me, you're gonna see. Yeah, for those who's gonna watch in the future, yeah, this live session I made, you're gonna see. He's not gonna do nothing. So now is 7th of April at 8:30. United States is 3:30, so nothing happened yet. And it will not happen. Yeah, you're gonna see, because he's not gonna be allowed to. Other countries, it will ban him straight away. Yeah, it will force him to withdraw. Yeah, to don't attack those power plants, because it is a war crime. Yeah, and despite all his conflicts, doesn't matter how big they are. Yeah, how tired he is with Iran, and because they blocked the Strait of Hormuz and everything, he cannot do that. He can't do that. If he will do that, he's nothing different than Hitler, is nothing different than Genghis Khan, and nothing different from any other war criminals. Is nothing different than Stalin, nothing different than nobody else. Yeah? If you want to go that path, to remain in history with that path, go on.
So the markets are nervous. They are not trading aggressively down, but they are taking this threat seriously. That's not one or the only indicator, but it's one indicator of how the global economy is viewing all this, Gail. And if there is one restraining mechanism on all this, it's not the polling data in the United States. The president acknowledged that in Nancy's piece, sure. But the economic catastrophe globally that might come from a set of strikes like this is the one restraining mechanism on the president. That's the one thing that he's always been hesitant to play with, because he considers it actual economic fire for the globe and for the United States.
I'm searching something else, guys. I am searching something else to see if it's gonna go or not. Yeah, I'm searching something else to see if it's gonna go or not. But it doesn't show it here. See, it's saying I'm live, but I cannot find it. My own live, I cannot find it. So definitely they blocked me. Somebody blocked me. So I will go on my channel. I will go on my channel. I am subscribed to my channel, so I'm gonna go on live, and there's nothing there. It is nothing there. So my live doesn't show. Yeah, does not show. My live does not show. That's why nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's seen it. That's why nobody's seen it. Let me see. Let's see. Why is it private? Why is it private? That's why nobody was seeing my live. Not yesterday, not today. Because it was on private. It was on private. How stupid of me to put a live on private, is it? Yeah, so it's not gonna happen. For those who is gonna see the live now, please do so. Go back a little bit, because we spoke about 15 minutes. Yeah, just go back a little bit. Go back in time. Yeah, you always wanted to be a time traveler, so just go back in time a little bit. Yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it that Mr. Trump is gonna be ending a civilization tonight. Yeah, we are 5 hours away from it. 5 hours away from it. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see, Mr. Trump.
That is a backdrop here, but you've got to take the president's rhetoric and his intent rather seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very unsettling and, to be honest, quite frightening. But this deadline has been delayed before. What happens if President Trump delays again? And do you think that's likely?
I don't know if it's likely or not, Gail, but again, you can look at the president's rhetoric and find ways in which he could do this. The president said regime change has already been accomplished and that these new leaders, we don't know who they are, he never says who they are.
Well, there's no new leaders, is it? No new leaders. Because he didn't say who is it. But he did say that Iran give him loads of gifts. Curious. Very curious.
Are more reasonable, smarter, and sharper. That he could create a deal. And if he creates a deal, even if it's just temporary, the world would relax. But until there's a full ceasefire and an end of all hostilities, no one will relax fully here in Washington or in any global capital.
All right, Major, thank you very much. To hear more of Major on all of this and all the big stories from Washington today, tune into The Takeout, airing weeknights at 5 o'clock on
Let's see what else we have around here. Let's see.
This has literally just been given to me. This is from Truth Social, where Donald Trump does his...
So let's see. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Again, Mr. Trump, you mocked them. Yeah, again, you mocked them. Again, you said the regime is completely and total change. Yeah, the regime is in totality changed. Yeah, 100% changed. So why these extreme measures then? Why these extreme measures?
Best work, so to speak. Shocking, really, what he said. He says here, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will...
So, like I said, we don't know. It's not going to happen. I know for sure 100% nothing will happen. You're going to see by 8 p.m. Donald Trump is going to have another conference. Yeah, he's going to say that he's going to give another deadline or another ultimatum, or he start negotiate with them, which again is going to be lies. Yeah, again, lies and lies upon lies and upon lies, layers and layers and layers of lies, and nothing else is going to happen. Yeah, it's going to continue like that.
Find out tonight, one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption and death will finally end.
Well, I do not like it. I do not like it. Yeah.
God bless the great people of Iran. Your thoughts on that?
How many deadlines have come and gone since?
Exactly. About 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. 5?
The beginning of this conflict. One thing I would say, though, is this is he's taking a page directly from President Vladimir Putin's playbook when it comes to hitting energy infrastructure and vital civilian infrastructure.
Yeah, but at least when Putin says he's going to do it.
In Ukraine, it's the same thing that Vladimir Putin has done repeatedly, and the world has condemned him repeatedly for that.
Yeah, another contrast in this conflict. Yeah, whatever Putin did, yeah, was condemned and blamed for it, but now when Trump does it, it's nothing. Yeah, it's normal. How come?
And President Trump called it a war crime. So President Trump has clearly taken the decision that the only way to put a stop to Iran's nuclear regime is to target civilian infrastructure in that country. And one of the big questions as well.
It's not going to happen. Believe me, it's not going to happen. He's not going to destroy nothing.
As you say, what is the retaliation going to be? What can the Iranians do to push back? And it will be to attack the Gulf Arab countries, absolutely no doubt about it. And it's been interesting as well, just over the last several weeks, to watch that sort of narrative in terms of where the various Gulf countries fall on.
Again, it's not gonna happen, but shout out to this lady.
Woohoo!
She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows what she is talking about, believe me. She knows what she's talking about.
This. Qatar's been backing the peace conversations that the Pakistanis have been pushing, and they're obviously not directly in any talks with the United States, Israel, and Iran. And the UAE has decided that it's within their national interest to get very much behind the U.S. administration on.
Of course, because you want to hide, is it? You want to hide behind it.
This. They think of it as an existential question and their own survival, because they have been, of course, the most targeted of all the Gulf Arab countries, at least thus far.
And over the weekend, Iranian voices, senior Iranian voices, were making it clear that if there is this all-out military assault on its technical, petrochemical and civilian infrastructure, you'll see the same in the Gulf states. And
well, if he's going to do that, let's say like that, if Trump is going to hit those power plants, the prices will double. You're going to see the prices will double, because the Strait of Hormuz is not going to be open anyway. And the prices will double.
Exactly.
And I imagine in Israel, or attempts to target Israel in the same way.
And certainly for the Gulf Arab countries, I mean, the question of Iran being a threat is an existential threat to their way of life and to their future, because we've seen the billions and billions of dollars they've been pumping into changing and diversifying their economies away from oil and gas for the last several years now. And that's something that they feel that this is directly targeting their way of life and their future. But I think with Iran, the president has said,
I drink too much water with this war. I drink too much water with this war. New bottle. Oh, have a long way to go, guys. Very long way to go. Drink water, guys. Drink water. It's good for you.
Repeatedly, we remember maximum pressure. Well, this is, maximum damage. That's what he's maximum destruction. That's what he
wants that. He wants that. Yeah, and Trump wants to do it, wants to do that even if they were gonna do a deal. Still, they wants to do that. But he's not gonna do it, believe me, 100%. How much we have? About 5 hours and a half. 5 hours and 25 minutes left till Trump said he's gonna attack, and he will destroy a civilization, yeah? An entire civilization will die tonight. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, never. Another lies.
Willing to inflict in order
More
to
lies.
achieve his aims. It does signal to me that he's still giving himself in every one of these Truth Social posts a bit of a caveat, a bit of a carve out, just in case they get what they want
maybe
not gonna get. He's not gonna get. Believe me, he's not going to get nothing. Nothing at all.
Maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The Emirates states as well, before this all started, they have some of their leaders, some of their leading figures, intellectuals and political, have said, look, you need, said to the West, you need to control the Iran-backed Islamists in this world. We do, and we do for existential reasons, and you should too. Is that all wrapped up?
Well, they have to, is it? They have to do this. They have to. Because if you're not going to fight back and you're going to leave it just like that, he's gonna do exactly what he did in Venezuela. Yeah, now Venezuela is governed by United States, and all his oil and everything belongs to United States now. That's why Trump was very brave about a week ago, say he doesn't need anywhere. If any country wants oil from the Strait of Hormuz, they should go and take it by themselves. Yeah, they should go and take it by themselves, because he doesn't need to. But of course you don't need. You have Venezuela, is it? You have it.
Up in this for the Gulf states. That
no doubt about it.
That Iranian threat.
No doubt about it. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, for them, you know, they're dealing with these proxies for decades and decades now, whether it's in Lebanon or in Yemen with the Houthis, or in these Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, for example. This is nothing.
Yeah, wherever the United States goes, they don't leave. That's the only issue. They do not leave. They are still in Vietnam. If you believe it, they are still in Vietnam. United States is still in Vietnam after all these years.
Thing that they haven't seen before, and they've been, you know, banging the drum for years, trying to get the Europeans on board, trying to get the United Kingdom, you know, cast these folks as terrorist organizations. It's the only way forward. You know, we need to take them seriously. And various administrations and governments have at times been very strong on this, and at times been very lax in their minds. For them, you know, this isn't something that's going to go away. And I think it's going to be interesting going forward to see how the United Arab Emirates.
I found something very, very nice. Let's see what they said.
The smoke of strikes was already rising over Tehran when the most powerful man in the West threatens such scenes may only be the start, and a
again, problems.
prelude to the end. Whatever President Trump means, whatever his goal or intent, a president threatening to destroy an entire civilization
is not gonna happen. Do not repeat the same thing. I understand media is media, and they tend to bring fear to people, to inspire fear to people. It's not gonna happen. He will not do nothing.
Brutal, dark moment in this world's history. In Tehran today, there was some normality and the stunning bloom of the almond blossom. Yet amidst it, the wreckage of another site targeted in this war.
Well,
this time,
there's gonna be loads of cities and buildings targeting, yeah?
a university, one of the hundreds of educational sites already hit.
The attack on this building isn't just seen as a...
exactly same. They did, so what Israel and United States attacked loads of university and loads of schools around Iran, but Iran never attacked any university or schools in Israel. So it's just that sink in,
an attack on bricks and mortar. It's seen as an attack on the future of this country, on the way that children here, young people, will be educated. But of great concern now.
Come on, join us, If you didn't subscribe, press the subscribe button, press the notification bell, join us, let's debate it, Let's debate, let's see what they have to say about it.
Is what the coming hours bring, what it means for this country, whether any deal can be reached. There's a lot of air defence going off here now, and quite a degree of concern as to what the coming hours mean.
I'm wondering, this lady, it is part of Trump's administration propaganda, or is just a reporter? I'm just wondering. I'm wondering.
Maybe hear it again there. We're going to start moving away from here now and moving to a slightly different area. In terms of the talks, it's really hard for people here to know whether what they're hearing is the big rhetoric, the stuff that people say when they're trying to find...
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about it. Well, I don't know. To be honest, I do not know what to say about it. I'm just waiting. I'm eager to see when this 5 hours and something pass. I'm just eager to see what they will do. Yeah, my TikTok account, guys, is kicking off now also. So hopefully YouTube is gonna kick off also. Yeah. Let's see.
A good bargaining position, whether it's all just trying to get the very best deal for themselves, or whether actually, in reality, there is no chance of a deal, and the hell that Donald Trump...
It's not going to be a chance of a deal, yeah? Because Trump is not going to pay all that money for the damages he did in Iran. He's not going to pay, first of all. Second of all, he is too reckless.
Said that he would unleash is about to be unleashed on this country.
And from the beauty of blue skies, the unending sound of menace.
Of course.
The soundscape of war.
Yeah.
There is little sign nor sound of diplomatic success here.
Well, what kind of diplomatic success you want? What kind of diplomatic success you want? Tell me. What kind of it?
And few places are exempt. This, what's left of one of Tehran's oldest synagogues, struck overnight. Another place of worship in ruins.
They are not human. They attack mosques, churches, synagogues. What should ordinary people do?
Because it is like that. They attack all that kind of stuff, yeah? They don't think about people. They don't think about them. They think about just to destroy and destroy and destroy.
I hope it will end soon and this country and the world can be in peace.
There is a sense of anxiety constantly triggered. But also, there's a belief that Trump's threat...
Imagine the fear the people live in. Imagine the fear. And you're telling me now that people of Iran said to Mr. Trump that they actually want him to bomb Iran to continue?
Threats will not be as bad as they may sound.
I think nothing will happen. President Trump has only made a threat.
It's not gonna happen, exactly. It's nothing gonna happen, believe me.
We're just stuck here. We don't know what to do. God willing, God himself will help us.
For some, however, the worst is already a reality. 40 days after the deaths of more than 100 children killed by an American missile on their school.
See? Exactly what I said is about people.
On the first day of this war, a service to remember them. Their little faces a reminder that grown-ups fight these battles. Children die as a result.
Not just children. People, innocent people die as a result.
And a reminder too that Iran has endured in its civilization.
Iran created the water jug 2,500 years ago. America has only 250 years history. I don't know what he's thinking.
Exactly. But being the most youngest, what's called youngest country, nation in the world, is the most destructive nation in the world, which is mind-blowing, to be honest.
The strikes on military targets have continued, these on Karg Island, so critical to Iranian oil.
Well, again, he said Karg Island is gonna be, I don't know, destroyed. He didn't do nothing. He said he will open the Strait of Hormuz. He didn't do nothing, yeah? Iran, actually, in fact, Iran didn't have the full power of Strait of Hormuz. They didn't have it until this war started. Now they have full control of the Strait of Hormuz, which is a gift from Donald Trump, of course. They should thank him for that.
Oil production. But the civilian targets are also still being hit. Israel had warned Iranians to...
Which is the real problem? Which is the real bad thing?
Avoid rail travel this morning and hit the railways this afternoon. The threat to hit power plants and bridges remains in place.
He will not he will not do that. He will not hit any power plants, believe me.
A warning does not negate that international law deems strikes on civilian infrastructure a war crime.
It will be classed as a war crime. It will be classed as a war crime, yes. Yeah, it will be.
But now a nation of 90 million people waits to see what darkness, literal or metaphoric, lies ahead from a president who continues to insist he deserves a prize for peace.
You didn't see, for a country that praises too much democracy, he started to look like a dictator, Mr. Trump. I don't realize that he started. So what he did, he fired all the people who disagree with him. Yeah, he put the people he wants and who he control in place. He does what he wants. He doesn't care about the opinion of others. So he's transforming himself more and more in a dictator. Yeah. In a country that praises democracy, and they are, proud to be democracy.
Well, Emma is still in Tehran tonight. Emma, clearly tension unbearably high there.
Well, with that reporter there and many more others, how do you think Trump is going to attack it? It's not going to do nothing. Absolutely nothing, believe me. Nothing at all.
It is, and
nothing.
It's quite incredible.
He's not going to do nothing.
The language.
He's unstable. Trump is unstable. He has people. He put people in place. Yeah, he fired other people, and he put people in place who he control, and who is going to say, they will say what Trump wants to hear. Yeah, he's unstable mentally. He doesn't know what he says and what he does.
That we're using, that a president is talking about destroying a civilization, that it will die, that there's...
He's not going to do nothing. He's not going to destroy civilization. He's not going to attack nothing. Probably he's going to drop few ballistic missiles somewhere around the city, or maybe around a power plant. Yeah, and then he will come with another lie, saying that, oh, you know what? Actually, we want to make a deal.
Questions about whether or not nuclear weapons will be used, and that the White House has to deny that. And, you know, people here...
What nuclear weapons? No nuclear weapons. If he's gonna use a nuke, United States is bye-bye. Is done. Is out of this world. If he's gonna use a nuke, believe me, he's gonna be out of this world. The United States is gonna be wiped out.
Here are incredibly resilient, and they are waiting and they are hoping.
Imagine how many countries they just wait for that signal. They just wait for the signal for a country just to throw a nuclear weapon at somebody. Just imagine that.
And they know no more than anybody else. The Pakistanis who are leading the negotiations say that the next 3 to 4 hours will be absolutely critical. It seems that there are still indirect contacts between America and Israel and Iran. That is the only hope, really, for trying to avoid an even more catastrophic situation than we've seen over the past 40 days. And then there is, of course, the deadline. The deadline.
Nothing. Yeah. He said he's gonna finish in less than 4 weeks. He didn't. Yeah, he's given multiple ultimatums and deadlines. Yeah, he gave that. Nothing happened. He said he will finish very fast. He didn't. Yeah. Now he's saying he will.
President Trump said it's going to expire in about 7 hours.
No, he's not. He's gonna find a way, believe me. Trump is gonna say something about it. Oh no, you know how he talks, how arrogant. Say, no, we wanted to do a deal. We started to attack, and we're gonna make a deal. They have another 48 hours.
Lead potentially without any kind of breakthrough to the destruction of energy sites and also power plants, as well as bridges. Everything he is saying is designed to force the Iranian hand, but the Iranians say that they are not willing to give up their hand and their power in terms of the Strait of Hormuz, which is what President Trump wants them to.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna open the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, Strait of Hormuz, it is open, but not for the United States and not for Israel. Simply as it is.
To hand over and allow the shipping traffic to pass through again. But it is a horrible situation for people in this country tonight, and they are watching the clock ticking down, hoping and praying for what's ahead.
Emma Murphy.
We will see. We will see. Yeah.
In Tehran, thank you. Okay, well, let's go to Robert Moore for the latest from Washington now. Robert, the president's threats in...
Watch this guy. Watch this guy. This guy is gonna be in 100% United States propaganda. Yeah, 100% United States propaganda. He's from Washington. He's paid by Trump administration, yeah?
Injury, even by his own standards. And meanwhile, the world watches and waits to see what he's going to do.
What he's gonna do? He's gonna do a shit sandwich. He's gonna do a shit sandwich. Something good about Trump, then something bad about Trump, and then again something good about Trump.
Do next?
Well, we've had weeks of these sort of wildly erratic sort of comments and posts, sometimes with very vulgar language. We've had
Yeah, very vulgar language just from Mr. Trump. You forgot to mention.
Shifting objectives and escalating threats. But yes, what the president posted just after 8 a.m. Eastern time this morning from the White House was so incendiary that it may darken his presidency for years.
Well, he's not going to be president for long anymore. Believe me, after what he said, he's not going to be president for long anymore. Because he's actually unstable. And people will going to want him down. And I don't mean about United States civilization, the citizens, yeah? Population. But other countries' leaders.
Years to come, international lawyers may well conclude that it foreshadows massive war crimes. These are the exact alarming and foreboding words that he wrote. He said, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will."
But it will probably will. It's not gonna. Believe me. It's not gonna happen, nothing.
Unless a new and different leadership, one that loves Iran.
So, unless a new and different leadership, one that loves Iran, decides to do the right thing and reopen the strait. Yeah, that's why you said is a new, what's called a new regime, but you didn't want to say who is it. That's why. Sounds sketchy, Mr. Trump, and I don't like it. Yeah, sounds very sketchy. But I'm gonna give you a clap for the plot twist.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna give you a clap.
Yeah!
For trying it.
And decides to do the right thing and reopen the strait. Now, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, who is in Budapest at the moment, appeared to suggest there, while he was in Hungary, that actually negotiations are still underway, that a deal is in play, and he's...
So a deal is in play. It is or is not in play? Because I don't understand. It is a deal in play or is not in play? Do you want to attack it tonight or not? Do you want to do a deal?
He said the energy flows are the key to everything.
We feel confident that we can get a response, whether it's positive or negative. We're going to get a response from the Iranians by 8 o'clock tonight. I hope they make the right response.
You hope they are going to make the right response. They will not. And United States is not going to do nothing.
Because what we really want is
what you really want is to basically recognize that United States fuck up. You want the oil, yeah, from Iran. You want to control the country. You want United States to control the Strait of Hormuz.
World where oil and gas is flowing freely.
Oil and gas is flowing freely under control of the United States.
Well, we do not know, and at this point we cannot know if Donald Trump's words are some kind of bluff to the leadership.
It is a bluff. It is a bluff. He's not gonna do nothing.
In Iran that he believes
You know how is other countries now, how other superpowers, they're watching Trump now? Like a hawk. Yeah? They watch him. Do it. Do it. Take a nuclear weapon out and do it. Launch it towards Iran. Launch it. Do it. Please do it. Do it so we can wipe you out.
That are negotiating in good faith. The stakes are obviously now, Mary, exponentially high, and this war has the potential for sure to escalate on a massive scale in the coming hours.
So it's not enough that it is again on a massive scale. It's not enough. You want more than that?
More in Washington. Thank you.
Let's see. What else? This guy, I don't like it. He is 100% United States propaganda. I don't like it. Let's see.
I want to bring in Firas Maksad, Managing Director for the Middle East and North Africa.
Okay, let's see the other side now.
For the Eurasia Group. Also with us, Colonel Jack Jacobs, Medal of Honor recipient and MS Now military analyst. Colonel, what kinds of considerations are service members potentially having to make today?
Well, you have to distinguish between the considerations of people at the bottom of the food chain.
By the way, guys, if you didn't subscribe, please subscribe, press the notification bell, and share if you like it. Let's see this through. Let's go big. Yeah, bigger than this news.
And those who are at the top and who are closest to the President of the United States. If you're at the bottom of the food chain, you need to do whatever you're told unless you're given an order that's immoral or illegal.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like this guy said. Let's listen again.
At the bottom of the food chain, you need to do whatever you're told unless you're given an order that's immoral or illegal. And for those who are not in leadership positions, that means taking account of the tactical.
Exactly what Donald Trump wants to do. So I'm gonna give a clap for this guy.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
This is good. He said straight to the point.
Situation around them. And there are some things that are intuitively obvious to the casual observer you're not allowed to do, and who's ordered to do so, you not only can refuse, but you must refuse. However, if you're at the top, if you're one of the leaders with wearing stars, you're an advisor.
I don't believe so. Mr. Trump has any stars.
The President of the United States, you're the leader of your service, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. You have an obligation to make sure that not only don't we do anything immoral or illegal, that we also don't do anything that's stupid. And the consideration of what...
Exactly. And Donald Trump did most of the things, most of the stupid things, he did it. Yeah? Most of the stupid things, he did it in this 39 days, 40 days. I don't know how many days it's been now. He did all of them. He checked all those points. It's like he's having a checklist and he's checking all of them.
Is immoral or illegal is very much different at the top of the food chain than it is at the bottom. And if we're going to avoid doing something we should not do, the buck is going to stop with the people.
He should
at
avoid
the top of the military food
well,
chain.
he should avoid.
Colonel, I
but
also
he
want
will.
to tell you about something that Kevin Barron, who I just spoke to, had to say. He's the former VP of Pentagon Press Association. He said he's never been more nervous for a night like this in his career. And Congressman Adam Smith just shared a similar sentiment with me. Take a listen.
I'm deeply worried about it. I basically share everything that your previous panel said. I mean, this is an unprecedented place.
So, let's see what this guy's going to say.
For the United States who have gone, Republican sycophants in Congress who want to say, oh, come on, you can hit bridges, you can hit power plants because they're connected to the military, which theoretically is.
Yeah, which is normal. It's by the rules, yeah? You play by the rules doing this.
True, but that is not what the lunatic in chief has been saying. He has made it very clear that his plan has nothing to do with military targets. He wants to erase a civilization and
Exactly. Same like other tyrants in the history.
punish the entire population of Iran.
You didn't take in consideration that he already did that. Yeah. Look back at all the children and all the women and all the innocent men, and everybody died so far.
I understand what you say, Jack, about the decisions that are being made at the top of the food chain. But to folks lower down on the food chain, the rank and file and the men and women who maybe now or may in the future be putting their lives on the line for this, does that pressure, does that fear trickle down?
Well, A, it does, and B, it's also pernicious. When you have an attitude that...
Yeah, correct. Absolutely correct.
That does, in fact, no matter what you do, and an attitude like that filters down through the chain of command, then it is,
This is, guys, when you're gonna give power to a person, you're just a person, you give the power to him.
very, very dangerous for the use of the military instrument of power and its place in the panoply of the things that we can use to defend ourselves for the future. We have to remember one thing, however, and that is that the use of the English language has never been Donald Trump's strong suit. Remember?
Yeah, I know, because until he fuck up and fire all the competent stuff, yeah, they was writing down everything he has to say. Now, with all this incompetence incompetence people put in place, yeah, now they let him do whatever he wants. And now the true colors of Mr. Trump is coming out.
A couple of days ago, maybe it was a week or two ago, President Trump said that we had regime change in Iran.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true, because the president doesn't understand what a regime is and how it differs.
Exactly like I said.
From the people in the government, how regime is different from government. So maybe it's grasping at straws, but we may want to take what he says with a grain of salt, Chris.
So basically, even this guy said he doesn't know what he does. He's basically fucking up everything in his way. Doesn't miss a chance to fuck up. He does it all the time.
So for us right now, Iran says they're defiant. They're ready to fight back against President Trump with this threat to eliminate the entire civilization.
Of course they're ready to fight back. When you don't have nothing to lose. Because when this kind of threatens comes towards you, yeah, that means he's capable of doing it. Yeah, that means you don't have nothing else to lose. So of course you're gonna be prepared to fight back.
Unless the Strait of Hormuz is reopened tonight. Iran's president says now that he and 14 million people are willing to die for this war. He claims that's how many people have answered their call to build human chains around power plants. Is he right? Do you believe?
Yes. Yes. Good.
Woohoo!
This is good. Yes. This is good.
Millions of people inside Iran are ready to die for this?
Chris, this is a regime that's been deeply unpopular for years in Iran, that had to kill tens of thousands of its own people before this war even started, only to maintain its grip on power. Now, that said, the statements and the ultimatums coming from the White House, the threat to annihilate an entire civilization, to bomb its infrastructure, bomb its bridges and power plants, those are deeply counterproductive.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah? Do you see what I have there? Yeah? Counter P Club. Counterproductive Club. Yeah? Welcome to the club, Mr. Trump. Welcome to the club. Well, after this, after this live and after this night, I will welcome you on my channel. Welcome, Mr. Trump, on my channel.
Because those are the kinds of things that feed into the regime narrative that America is out to destroy Iran and not to undermine the regime.
Exactly. Well, Trump is proven that fact, is making that idea, that ideology more powerful with the way he acts and the way he does things. Yeah.
If this regime,
if you want to change it, the idea of the regime, that the idea the United States doesn't want to destroy Iran, yeah, do find another way, more peaceful way, not the way Mr. Trump did.
is going to be replaced by anything. Its ideology of the Islamic Republic is bankrupt, but if it's going to be replaced with anything, it is going to be something that is deeply dependent on a sense of Iranian patriotism.
Of course.
And so to be pushing up against that force of patriotism and to push the regime to be able to benefit from that, just as they did when President Trump threatened a few weeks ago to have a Kurdish insurgency that would essentially bring Iran apart and would have...
And what happened? Nothing, is it?
Factions, ethnic factions breakaway. Again, that fed into the regime's support base and the regime's...
Of course, it's just making that more powerful. More and more powerful. It's making it more powerful. That idea.
Narrative. So I worry about those deeply, I would say, misguided statements.
I bet after all this war is gonna be done, yeah, doesn't matter the outcome, I bet is gonna come another terrorist group from Iran. Yeah, I bet that the United States is gonna find another terrorist group in Iran.
Statements that keep coming out of the White House that do not seem to have a grip of what's actually moving the Iranian people.
Yeah, and maybe it's obvious, but you can still love your country even though you hate the people who are running it and maybe even fear them.
Exactly. Yeah. You like the country, you like the people, you don't like the regime, you don't like the government, you don't like the people who run it. Exactly like the lady said. Yeah. Very nice lady. Look, a clap for her.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
A clap for her. Also, I'm gonna make you, yeah, photo. I'm gonna make you a photo, lady.
I also want to ask you for us about something that the Vice President, J.D. Vance, said today. He was asked about the state of negotiations. Take a listen.
Fundamentally, the ball is in the Iranians' court. Now, I think...
Why is this guy in Hungary? Why?
The president has talked about this. One thing I will say is that the Iranians were not the fastest negotiators before the war started, and they are
certainly not. United States is not the fastest one. Also,
not the fastest negotiators now. So we recognize there's some delay sometimes in transmitting messages from one person to another, but we feel confident that we can get a response, whether it's positive or negative. We're going to get a response from the Iranians by 8 o'clock.
Of course you're going to get a response. Of course you're going to get a response from Iranian people or from the Iranian regime or the government or who the fuck is running the country now. Yeah? Of course you're going to get one.
8 o'clock tonight.
What are you expecting by 8 o'clock tonight? What are the possibilities here?
The possibility is going to be that Iran is going to say, fuck off, Mr. Trump.
I think it's important to point out to the viewers that the president has levied those kind of ultimatums before, at least on 2 occasions, only to walk them back to say that there's been some degree of progress in the negotiations.
Lies. 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 Yeah? Take this guy. Take this guy. Take him. Lies. Just lies.
That merits for them to continue. I wouldn't at all be surprised if we're faced with that kind of scenario tonight. Already, it seems that Vice President Vance is echoing and perhaps laying the ground for Iran to make some kind of a concession. We are not privy to the details of the talks.
Of course you're not going to know the details, yeah? If Mr. Trump doesn't say the details, why Iran should say the details? Where's the point of doing that?
At an official level, the U.S. has put forward some 15 points, all maximalist in their approach. The Iranians have responded by actually turning those down and putting forward 10 points of their own, also maximalist in nature. But behind the scenes, we know that there are intricate negotiations taking place. The Pakistanis, the Turks, the Egyptians, all involved in that. So I wouldn't at all be surprised that if by 8 o'clock tonight, this ends up being a nothing burger and President Trump finds a way to climb down and to continue negotiating. Now, the war continues, the bombing continues, but you're not going to be seeing anything that is much different from what we've seen before.
Exactly. It's going to continue as it is. Yeah, as it is. Israel and United States is going to attack Iran. Iran is going to attack back. So on, back and forth, back and forth.
Colonel Jack Jacobs and Firas Maksad, thank you both.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'm not entirely, I don't know what to say about it. Yeah, but on one thing I'm certain. One thing is certain. Iran is not going to go back. He's not going to stand back, believe me. He's not going to say, okay, let's do deals. He's not going to do that. Yeah, he's not going to say, okay, let's negotiate. Okay, let's open the Strait of Hormuz. No, Iran is going to say no to everything that Mr. Trump wants to say. Yeah, and because they know he's bluffing. They know he's bluffing. And he will do nothing, Trump, about it. He will find a way to tell more lies to the press, to tell more lies to the world, yeah? Well, Mr. Trump, I have bad news for you. We kind of don't tend to believe you anymore. Yeah, we don't tend to believe you anymore. Listen, we have this guy for you. Yeah, we don't tend to believe you anymore. Oh, this guy is yawning. Let's see what else we have. This is the way the monster of history speak.
I want to bring in MS Now contributor Inzamam Rashid in Dubai.
Rashid in Dubai. Let's see, Mr. Rashid, what do you have to say?
Kevin Barron is president of Elevation Global Strategies, former executive editor of Defense One, and the former VP of the Pentagon Press Association. Charlie Sykes is the author of the Substack.
Why all of them they try to be intellectual. All of them they try to be intellectual. All of them they try to be like that. Yeah, none of them. I see all of these guys on TV, on camera, on interviews, on podcasts. All of them with books in behind of them, with all kind of stuff. Yeah, be yourself. Why not in the park like the lady from the beginning? Just be in the park. Why want to have all those books in behind them?
Newsletter to the contrary. And with me in studio, MS Now national security reporter David Rowe. David, I want to go to you because I know you've been in touch with some officials in the region. Is there a chance, is there a legitimate chance here that this threat could be avoided by coming to some kind of deal?
I spoke to two Persian Gulf diplomats just in the last...
Already United States media is preparing us for the next Mr. Trump's lies. Yeah, is any chances that could this be avoided? Come on.
Hour or so, they are skeptical. They say there's no progress that they see in the negotiations at this point. That they're skeptical of any deal before the 8 p.m. deadline. One of them specifically cited the fact that Vice President J.D. Vance is in Hungary. President Trump has said that Vice President...
I'm wondering why the Vice President J.D. Vance is in Hungary. I am wondering why.
President Vance, along with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are the prime negotiators with Iran. So the sense I'm getting is that seen in the region is that the U.S. is not serious about this, but just separately, again, two Persian Gulf diplomats saying they don't see major progress and they think the chances are low of a deal before 8 o'clock.
I will say that.
So, Charlie, that raises
I will say
where
that.
Does it leave us in
Mr.
these
Trump,
hours?
he doesn't know what he's talking about. 100%. Doesn't know. Yeah. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Is this where we are? An unpredictable commander-in-chief
Oh, this is the same lady from earlier.
making threats against tens of millions of innocent people to obliterate an entire civilization based on, he said this in the past,
Based
his
on
own
what
gut
Mr.
feelings.
Trump wants.
This is the way the monsters of history speak. And we're talking about a man who controls the world's largest nuclear arsenal, bleeding out threat.
How do we know controls the largest nuclear arsenal in the world? How do we know that? Because by the looks of it, doesn't seem like.
Of genocide and war crimes. And the threat itself, I think, feels like a turning point for America's role in the world, where we used to be the shining city on the hill.
That was a very long time ago, my friend. Was a very long time ago. You should take your head out from those books and look a little bit at the reality.
And I think the rest of the world is going to look at the United States as a dangerous rogue nation.
They already started to do that.
There were people who thought that, oh,
And not from now, from a decade ago.
don't take Donald Trump too seriously when he was threatening to invade Greenland. And I think we look back on that as the end of the Western alliance. This particular threat, where he's talking about white...
He's basically, Mr. Trump is destroying bridges, physical bridges in Iran, but is burning all the bridges with all other countries. Yeah, for the United States.
Wiping out one of the world's oldest civilizations, whether he follows through on that or not, feels like a turning point in America's 250-year experiment in liberal constitutional democracy, because I certainly can't remember any other time when any leader of a liberal democracy has threatened to destroy a civilization.
Modern civilization? No. Nobody. I don't think even Hitler said that. I don't think he said that. Yeah? So, congratulations, Mr. Trump. You said something even bigger that Hitler did. Yeah? Hitler was quiet and doing stuff. Very bad stuff. But words speaks louder than actions.
Well, I guess, Kevin, then it becomes an obvious question. And the people you're talking to, do they consider this bluster or do they consider this a real threat?
Well, I consider it a bluff. Well, myself, I consider it a bluff. Thank you for asking. Who is this? I don't know her name.
You have to take it as a threat, but he's known for bluster. Look, I view this in the lens of covering the military for a couple of decades and covering a lot of stories about civilian-military relations. And if you think of the old Hollywood version of events, it's usually the generals who want to, bomb more, they're more aggressive, they want to go to war, and it's the politicians who hold them back.
Yeah.
Here, we're at a place, an unbelievable...
Well, those politicians now belongs to Mr. Trump. Yeah, and all his stuff belongs to Mr. Trump. They listen to what he wants to do.
And remarkable place where I'm hoping, and I'm pretty confident, that the generals are going to save us in a way that, the Trump supporters were angry and upset, in the last time around when we found out the same thing was happening. The Pentagon...
I need to stop you there. I need to stop you there, because are you saying you think that they can talk him out of it?
No.
Or that
No, they cannot talk him out of it.
if push came to shove, they would defy orders? What are you saying?
No, I say, Politico's own reporting says that the military leadership has created a more extensive...
The new leadership, military leadership, listen to Trump.
...target list, hoping that they can make justifiable strikes. They're still going to claim these are dual-use things that they're going to hit, things like the grid and the power plants. But in our modern era, dual use can be data centers down the street. It can be the electrical pole outside. It can be a lot of things.
Of course, like I said earlier, if you was watching, yeah, he will bomb around some power plants. He will do some stuff, then we're going to come up with some lies.
But like the president's been saying, but it's up to the military to hit those targets. And I'm hoping, and I have faith that those leaders are going to do their best to be precise in what they do. Trump isn't handpicking all these selections despite the bluster. None of that erases the warning. None of that erases all the dire statements the other.
It's not going to do nothing.
And I've been hearing all day.
We're going to see it tomorrow morning that he didn't do nothing. Yeah, probably some bombing around. Somewhere in some areas around few kilometers from the power plants and the infrastructure, but nothing major.
On TV saying that, yes, this is an unprecedented moment that Trump has brought us to. He's alienated the rest of the world, alienated our allies who are begging him not to do this. Yeah. They're not following him into the war. They're not following his...
Of course, because you're unstable, Mr. Trump.
His demands to protect the strait. The United States is alone. I do have comfort. And
it is alone, yeah.
Love you, Charlie, but I don't...
And it will be alone for a very long time from now.
I don't know that this is the end of democracy unless nobody does anything about it and Trump continues on into the future. And whether that's people changing his mind or changing the target list tonight or voting for a different government down the road. I've come from international conferences recently where people have said flat out, they come up to you and say, I know it's not you. We see the protesters in Minneapolis. We know the United States is not all supporting Donald Trump.
Well, the media wants you to see it like that. Yeah, that they are supportive, but they're not.
That this is him. But if this goes through with no one stopping him, Congress isn't stopping him, well, how can we justify any other opinion,
So Inzamam, the president, once again...
It's not the end of democracy. It's the end of our moral authority in the world.
Moral authority in the world, my friend, again, take your head out of the box. You lost it a long time ago. Yeah, you lost it a long time ago. And it's the end of democracy because, like I said earlier in the video, he's turning more and more as a dictator than a president.
World, I think. That's the key point.
I understand.
So let's talk about what's happening in that region, and particularly with the people who would be directly affected and have already been directly affected by this. Inzamam, the president, once again implying he may destroy Iran in his mind to save it, or that with new Iranian leadership, maybe...
How is this? How is this even working? How is this even working? I want to destroy Iran to save it. How? How is this? How?
Something revolutionarily wonderful can happen, to quote him. Does that make sense to the Iranian people or to people in the region writ large?
I don't think it does. And I don't think much of the president's messaging over the last 5 to 6 weeks has resonated with many of the people inside Iran either. What I think I can tell you is that this evening, with less than, 8 hours to go until...
Well, it's about 4.5 hours to go.
This deadline ends supposedly from the president. People inside Iran, millions and millions of people inside Iran, will be living in fear because, yes, whilst...
Of course, they will live in fear. What do you expect?
The president has mentioned a lot of this previously. This deadline seems very real. And the reason I say that is because of the increased fighting that we've had in the last 24 hours. We've seen Israel continue to target residential areas inside Iran. We've seen them today strike a railway line, a railway bridge.
Why you do that? Why? Why? Israel.
Which has caused significant damage. We've also seen them target the South Pars gas facility. And then once again today, whilst they didn't hit the oil facility on Karg Island, they've struck many parts.
So Trump wants to open the Strait of Hormuz, and Israel is attacking Karg Island. Is a little bit acting out of what Mr. Trump wants.
Of Karg Island, that incredibly important island, which is seen as the jewel in the crown of the Iranian economy, as it exports 90% of its oil from there. But the people of Iran, the everyday boys and girls, the families, will be living in fear because they've got no ideas what the next 8 hours hold.
Of course they will live in fear. Of course. Definitely, 100%.
Talks clearly seem not to be going well, as David Rode mentioned. And on the other hand, you very much got the fighting that's continuing. And as you mentioned in the opening there, Chris, Iranians are now being urged to go and stand near to some of these energy facilities. We've seen some images.
Well, if they will stand there, they don't care anyway. Yeah. Trump made a statement that he will end the civilization tonight. Yeah. So you think if the fuck I have on my phone, if you think he will care about people if you're staying around the facility, you're mistakenly very wrong. Very, very wrong about it. Yeah, he will not care. He will destroy the whole country if it's up to him. He's bluffing, of course, but he will destroy the whole country. Also, he doesn't care if his people around it.
Circulating online, which shows Iranians lined up in front of a power plant to ensure that Israelis and the US won't bomb them, to ensure that the energy facilities don't get targeted. And also this evening as well, the Speaker of the Iranian Parliament specifically put out a link suggesting that people of Iran sign up through this website, whereby the regime are specifically asking people to register for self-sacrifice.
I don't know. Well, this kind of stuff with sacrificing, I don't like it.
So in other words, they're telling people that they should be willing to die for their country, and the Speaker of the Parliament suggesting that around 14.3 million people had signed up. This was just over
I
an
don't
hour.
believe so. I don't believe that. I don't believe that 14 point something million signed up to stand up. No, I don't believe. No, not even for 1 second. Yeah, this is just some bullshit from Iran. Yeah, doesn't matter how much I disagree with Mr. Trump's things and how he does it. Iran, this is a counter bluff. This is a counter bluff to what Trump said. Yeah, Trump said he will end the civilization tonight, and the counter bluff was coming from Iran president saying that 14 point something million already signed up to stand for their country. No, 100% fake.
Or so ago. What's important is that Iran have said that there will be no ceasefire agreement, while
yeah, of course it's not going to be.
Hormuz will not
well, I said that it's not going to be, and the Strait of Hormuz will going to stay closed. He's still going to stay closed. Yeah, he's going to stay closed because it's not closed for everybody. It's just for the United States and Israel. That is make him, Donald Trump, mad and unstable. Yeah, because he's losing so much money.
Whilst there is no permanent agreement that the fighting will stop. So the Strait of Hormuz tonight very much does remain in Iranian control.
Of course, he's going to stay there.
There is really no evidence that a ceasefire can come about within the next 8 hours, and clearly there are millions.
He's not going to come. We are 4.5 hours away from again Mr. Trump's ultimatum. Yeah, again Mr. Trump's ultimatum, which he's not going to do it. He's not going to do nothing. He'll back up very fast, believe me. very, very fast.
Of people across that country, and also I think it's fair to say in the Gulf, because of any potential retaliation from Iran, that live in fear to see what the president will do.
Kevin, can we just talk about the extraordinary nature again of what we're hearing on both sides? We're used to hearing from, for example, folks who are part of terrorist organizations willing to sacrifice their lives, to put on a suicide vest for what they consider to be the greater good.
Again, why we insinuate about terrorism? Why these insinuations, lady?
But you have Iranian leaders asking people to sign up to self-sacrifice?
Yeah, I mean, none of that surprises me. Look, there's an alternate universe where the President of the United States would be doing everything he could to win the favor of the Iranian people and to lead in a moral way that we would expect. But he doesn't, and there's a history to this. Not to attach what he said today to anybody else, but there's a history to the conservative movement trying to remove the handcuffs, they think, of executing warfare. That's why they cut the civilian casualties office at the Pentagon, why they've always been against things like law of the sea.
Well, the United States was not doing nothing, to be honest. They didn't do nothing to what is called, for other countries. They will do anything just for their own self-gain. And that's what I mean about the population of the United States. I mean about the government.
The use of anti-personnel landmines, anything that might limit total warfare, any ability to defend the United States and its interests whatsoever. This is the result of a decades-long movement, and that would manifest itself during the Iraq and Afghanistan war years in an extreme way. And so I can only imagine that, we all have Iranian friends, and we're trying to figure out on the ground from here, those of us who are back.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
In Washington, but there's another universe where the United States would say things like, we're going to target only the officials, we're going to target only military command, we're not targeting you.
Yeah, and we've seen that. They did exactly that, is it?
The civilians, we'll help you get out of the country, we'll help organize the movement. We're not hearing any of that. We're not hearing any of that. All we're hearing is, carpet bombing. That's something Ted Cruz said about the ISIS war. Or even, you could pull the bomb down Iran, the joking version of the joke that John McCain made in his campaign. I never believed John McCain would have ever done something like this. But there's a history to this bravado. And so that's why we're in this, I don't know, so it's why we're in where we are. I've never been so nervous about it.
Exactly. I think everybody now is watching this, yeah, very closely what's going to happen, very closely.
Night that I can remember in my career that I am about what might happen tonight.
Well, nothing is going to happen tonight, yeah, 100% nothing it will happen tonight. Nothing at all. Believe me, maybe he will attack something around it. Yeah, he will attack something around it, but nothing major. Absolutely nothing major, believe me. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna go now. It's been 1 hour and a half on this live. I have to go. Probably we're gonna see each other tomorrow again with more news about what happened tonight, yeah, and we're gonna take it from there. But I bet 100% that nothing is gonna happen tonight. Absolutely nothing. Iran is still gonna be there tomorrow. Iran's still gonna fight back. Yeah, we're gonna see. All right, guys, lazy gang, stay chill and see